In the recent article, CNBC has whispered in our ears about a secret that apparently Tesla has been keeping from all of us, but especially from Panasonic. But is it a really secret? Didn't we kind of know that already, especially after the last shareholder meeting? All right, let's talk about the article and let's talk about what does it really mean for the, a very unsubtle relationship between Tesla and Panasonic. So let's talk about it. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric. Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. And of course, thank you to my Patreons for supporting this independent channel. You can go to patreon.com/E4Electric. All right, so here's an article that CNBC published, and apparently they're saying that Tesla has a secret lab where they're trying to build the new batteries to kind of ditch, break up with Panasonic. And as you know, Panasonic is probably one of the most, if not the most important partner to Tesla, because without batteries, you can't have battery-powered cars. I'm not a genius, but I think I'm pretty certain of that. And Panasonic is the one that's providing battery cells for the battery packs that Tesla puts in their cars. And there's already been a strained relationship between them because Tesla, told Panasonic how many of these Model 3 cars they're going to be making, and Panasonic, invested some money, ramped up production for those cells, and it turned out that Tesla just couldn't. It didn't happen. Obviously, the ramp up was too slow, and of course there were issues with putting together the cells into battery packs. From what I remember, that was one of the bottlenecks. Since then, Panasonic realized they're losing money on this venture, and the same thing with the Gigafactory in Buffalo, New York, where recent reports told us that the cells, the solar cells that they're making over there, a lot of times mainly go to end up in the hands of Tesla competitors for their energy products and solar products. So, because Panasonic has to sell them somewhere, and if Tesla's not buying, then they have to find other buyers. I'm assuming that was part of the contract. And then, earlier this year, in this tweet, Elon kind of blamed Panasonic about issues with supplying the batteries for the Model 3. I mean, it kind of blames them for the Q1 being so low on sales and deliveries. I don't know, in our power pack and Powerwall cells, kind of suffer from that as well. But it's all public, right? All this laundry, being kind of aired out in public, and in the relationships has been getting kind of worse and worse and worse. But here's the problem, and I think this is where Tesla might be a bit of trouble. Tesla needs Panasonic more than Panasonic needs Tesla. And in any relationship, whether it's romantic or business, when one partner needs the other one more, it's an unbalanced relationship, and it's probably going to go down the drain at some point. Now, Tesla has done this before. If you remember, they've done this before, and it did not turn out very well. So let's talk about that. Of course, before that, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out the all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming to Europe and here in the United States at the end of the next year. Make sure to join myself and tens of thousands of other people who have already made reservations, starting only $45,000 before the incentives, but really just $0 to reserve one. Go to the description of this video and spend about a minute of your time reserving your Byton today. Okay, so and by the way, there's another thing that before I get to what happened before when Tesla tried to kind of ditch one of the more important partners. CNBC uncovered, though they're public, these job posts that for manufacturing engineers to hire in those secret labs. Now, by the way, Electric covered the same story, and they said there's no secret. They've always had this secret lab, so there's no secret about the secret lab. I guess now they moved locations, and that's what CNBC were saying, how the location is, well, I believe a couple of miles away from the actual factory in Fremont, California. But right here, and this is a public post of their job opening, and right in that job opening it says Tesla is looking for a highly motivated engineer to create manufacturing equipment for our cutting edge battery cells. Now, of course, as you remember, they just acquired Maxwell Technology, which is was kind of a highly anticipated purchase, and obviously they, if they're going to share this technology with Panasonic, it would be exclusive, but it looks like they're going with the same route as they did with the Autopilot. Now remember, Autopilot was fully developed by somebody else. It was Mobileye, and it was later purchased by Intel, and Tesla wanted to once again vertically integrate. They're essentially becoming Apple, right? But I think they're doing it a little bit too soon for their own good, because remember, once they decided to ditch Mobileye, they said, well, we're going to do it ourselves. And it took them like 3 years to even develop the software that can be as good as the Mobileye software, which is called Autopilot 1.0. It wasn't until like 2.5. Then they finally equaled it out. And now this year, they're finally, they're ramping it up. And now some new features are coming out, some really amazing features, but nevertheless. Boy, I hope it doesn't happen with the batteries, because the batteries are kind of even more important than Autopilot, right? The car can live without the Autopilot, cannot live without batteries. And Panasonic is not stupid. They've already made a deal with Toyota for, guess what? The battery cells. And Toyota has way more leverage and money than Tesla. And, they might, and especially if it's going to be profitable, because Toyota is probably are more likely to stay on schedule rather than a startup that is Tesla. I can see Panasonic starting to phase out. They've already refused to invest more into the gigafactories, citing that, hey, we don't want to invest more into a venture that's losing us money. And I can't blame them. So I really hope, Elon and Tesla really thought this through, because, this is crucial. And all of the other OEMs are having issues with the battery cell supplies. Audi, Volkswagen, Kia and Hyundai, they've all had this issue. And Panasonic partnership with Tesla has been one of the biggest values that Tesla had, because they've been the most involved in battery production for their vehicles. And obviously it's good to have full control, especially you have technology that nobody else has in Maxwell technology, where Panasonic technology is obviously available to others like Toyota. But at the same time, man, this is a humongous undertaking, and they're kind of starting from scratch almost, despite owning the Maxwell technology. I really hope it doesn't go down the same way as it did with Mobileye. I hope they learned their lesson. But nevertheless, this has been a concern of mine now ever since I discovered that they've been kind of drifting apart, because man, I'm telling you, it can just be either amazing if they do it right, and probably with the help of Panasonic, or it can be really a big disaster. So it's kind of like Mobileye breakup times 5 or 10. Let me know what you think. I'm definitely interested, because this is obviously an opinion type of a thing for now. Again, not really sure how much of a secret this secret really is, but it does indicate a growing problem that's out there that needs to be resolved pretty soon. While you're doing that, don't forget to join our VIP list. It's pretty easy and free. e4electric.com/VIP. Couple of things that you can find in the description of this video that is free, like reserving your button, of course. And thank you to one of my newer Patreons, Kevin Wong. Welcome to my Patreon community, the only place where you can watch this videos live. Thank you for supporting my independent channel. You can support this independent YouTuber for only $1 a month. You can put a bread on his table. It's true. Anyway, go to patreon.com/e4electric. Once again, that link is also in the description of this video. All right, looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.